as a cause. So the question is, what is that cause? Well, look, if space-time and matter had a beginning out of nothing, then whatever created space-time and matter can't be made of space-time and matter. In other words, the cause must be spaceless, timeless, immaterial, powerful to create the universe out of nothing, personal in order to choose to create, because only persons can make choices, and when you choose to create, you're making a choice. Also intelligent, because it turns out that this universe is fine-tuned. Now, when you think about a spaceless, timeless, immaterial, powerful, personal, intelligent cause, who do you think of? That's what we mean by God. So science doesn't say that directly, but you can use science in arguments that have theological implications. Okay? Now, let's get to the key question, and then we'll get to your questions. Let's get to the key question. Why does science need God? First of all, let's deal with this objection, because you might hear this. Some people will say, there is no truth in anything but science. Can anyone see the philosophical problem with this statement? How do you know that's true? You can ask that, but what's a more direct way of pointing out it's a problem? Yeah, can you scientifically prove that? Can you go in the laboratory and prove that? No, that's a philosophical claim. You can't prove that by science. Science is built on philosophy. In fact, if you really think about this, most of what's really important to you has nothing to do with science. Love. Honey, do you love me? I don't know. Let me get my machine out. Let me see if I'm feeling love right now. I'll hook up some electrodes and I'll see. Relationships, nothing to do with science. Justice. What's the chemical composition of the justice molecule? It's not a scientific issue. It's philosophical. The laws of logic, the laws of mathematics, these are not scientifically proven. In fact, you couldn't do science without them. They undergird everything we do. So you might say, well, what can't science explain? Some of those things I just mentioned, but actually, there was a debate that explained this very, very clearly. It was back in 1998 when most of you were little lads and little gals. And it was in Atlanta, Georgia. I happened to go to this debate. The debate was between Dr. William Lane Craig, probably the most prolific debater for the Christian side over the past 30 years. How many have heard of the name William Lane Craig? Okay, good. Write down his website, reasonablefaith.org, if you're interested in this kind of material. He's very good. Reasonablefaith.org. He also has an app which you can get. He has a podcast every week, very good. Anyway, he was debating a guy by the name of Peter Atkins, who was an atheist chemist from Oxford University. And the moderator of the debate, and the issue was, does God exist? The moderator of the debate was William Buckley. Does anyone here remember who William Buckley was? William Buckley was a conservative guy who had a show on PBS called Firing Line. He was very eccentric. He wrote the book in the 50s, Finding God at Yale. He was a conservative Catholic, and he was the moderator. And he was very witty and very eclectic. He could get away with things other moderators couldn't get away with. In fact, from the very beginning of the debate, Buckley made it known that he was on Craig's side. He wasn't going to be neutral. So when he introduces the two debaters, he says, representing the Christian position is Dr. William Lane Craig. Representing the devil is Dr. Peter Atkins. Right? So anyway, the debate starts. They give their opening statements. And then they're sitting on two comfy chairs. And they're having a discussion. And Buckley, the moderator, begins arguing with Atkins, the atheist, directly. He's just taking him on, right? And he's not really getting very far with him. So finally, Buckley looks over at Craig and says, Dr. Craig, you want to help me out here? You want to jump in? And just as he says that, Atkins says, everything can be proven by science. Science can explain all things. And he turns to Craig and he says, do you deny that science can explain all things? And then Craig says, yes, I do deny that science can explain all things. And then he gives an eloquent 5-point refutation of Atkins' point. I want to show that to you now. It's about a 2-minute clip. There's two things I want you to listen to and watch for in this clip. Number one, well, first of all, Craig is the one with the beard, okay? Number one, watch Atkins while Craig is speaking. He looks like a complete deer in the headlights. It looks like he doesn't know what's going on. And then secondly, listen for what Buckley says at the very end of the debate, or at the end of the exchange, because remember, Buckley was arguing with Atkins directly just prior to this. You ready? All right.